What's up, gamers? We are back with more Starfield. I am not picking up right where I left
Please
off. You may
tell me you know
recall...
exactly what materials you need.
Yes, Isra. You may recall at the... I'll just pause so I can talk. You may recall at the end of the last episode, I was about to... You can see the objective right at the bottom of my screen. I was about to enter the Galbank archives to try and find out information about where the ship named Legacy crashed for my Crimson Fleet slash UC Sistef questline. But something crazy happened between videos, and I've been going out of my way on this playthrough to only do stuff between videos that's going to be boring, repetitive junk that is just not worth including. And this is the first time in the game where I felt like I feel bad that you're not going to get my genuine blind reaction to something that happened. But this just sort of happened. But I'm going to reenact what happened for you in my best effort to recapture the excitement that I felt when this happened to me. Between episodes, I was working on my outpost, and outpost construction involves a lot of raw materials and stuff, so I'm often like hopping around between the major cities in the settled systems to get materials. The general goods vendors sell prefab materials like stuff you would make at like a industrial fabricator. But I'm not a high enough level to make some things at the industrial fabricator, so I rely on the game's merchants to help me out with that. So I was making the rounds to the various general merchants in the game. I went to Aquila City, I went to New Atlantis, and then I went to the Key because there's a general merchant here at the Key, Isra. Sorry, Isra. General Goods. Yeah. See.
I
So if
hope
I
you
talk to
actually...
her,
Alright, let's...
she's very rude. If I talk to her and I go to resources, she sells stuff like adaptive frames and authentic manifolds and all this sort of junk. Comm relays and stuff that's useful for constructing things. And so I was here and I bought the
Oh,
stuff I wanted from
bye,
her.
I guess.
And then I rotated my camera like this, and I noticed, oh, there's a closed shop over here. And I was like, that always been closed, or did like one of the shops that was here close up? And I did a little look around at the other merchants here that I'm familiar with when I did my first, search of the Key. And I'm like, no, I think it's just always been closed like that. It's neat. I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can get in here. If there's anything back there. No, can't get in there this way. And I walked around here. I was like, oh, it's a public access computer. Look, it's a what? There's a data slate here that has SSNN Crick's interview part 3. My mind was blown when I saw this. I was under the very distinct impression that the only data slate that existed for the SSNN Crick's interview was number 6, the one I got in Delgado's cabin, Delgado's like room in the Key. And I felt like the game was backing me up in that assumption. Yeah, let me pause because there's a ton of NPCs around this area, and they're gonna keep talking my ear off while I'm trying to explain what happened. I thought the game led me to believe that that was the only one that was here on the Key because, first of all, I felt like I had done a pretty thorough search of the Key. Apparently not, but I thought I had. And I only found that one, right? Number 6. And when we started this quest looking into the history of the Crimson Fleet and looking into the legacy, the one piece of Crimson Fleet history that Delgado is desperate to find, him and Nora, the other NPCs here, spoke specifically about that slate, about that part of the SSNN interview, that alludes to there being some treasure somewhere. Um, they even say like all he's got to go off is a slate, and they refer to it in the singular and everything. Like I was so confident that all he had was part six. And so you might remember, like, I talked about it a lot when I was going through the Walk prison. I thought the other pieces of the interview would be what we found down in the prison, and I was very disappointed when that turned out not to be the case. There were nothing down there for the interview, and then I moved on to theorizing that we would find the other pieces of the interview at the Legacy ship itself. I also kind of think we're maybe going to find Jasper Crix's corpse at the Legacy ship. I mean, clearly something went wrong. He disappeared before he ever found this big treasure that we're now looking for. So I thought they would be there. In my mind, you know, I'd already checked off the boxes of looking at the key and looking at the prison, and I figured they must be somewhere else. But now I'm questioning everything because here we've got part three right here on the key. Nowhere near nowhere near Delgado's cabin. Just chilling in this. I already looted this ammo crate because I mean, like I mentioned,
Smuggling beats a real job, eh?
I unfortunately found this between videos. I shouldn't have let curiosity get the best of me and started looking around, trying to get in here and stuff because you never know what you're going to find in games like this. So I do apologize that you know, but this blew my mind, right? You know, if you've been watching the other videos up to this point, you know how desperate I've been to get the other pieces of this interview. And also, I do want to check out this public access computer. Because I haven't noticed this before either. Like I'm suddenly feeling like I did not do a good job searching the key. I may have just brushed over it, and I was in a rush to get to go meet Delgado for the first time, and then Delgado launched me into such an exciting quest that I was so invested in that I never gave, I guess, a good look through the ship, the space station, the key. So today's episode may be a little boring for some viewers. I think we're mainly going to focus on researching old areas that I had assumed were well searched, just to make sure, like, especially the key. I think we're about to go over the key with a fine-tooth comb. I don't want anything else to be off recording because I don't know what I'm going to find here on the key. But in addition to looking for new things on the key, one of the random pirates on the key, as I was walking by him, like the guards in Aquila City and New Atlantis sometimes do, just by walking by one of the pirates, they made an offhanded comment that gave me an activity. It says speak to Bog. As you know, Bog's the bartender here on board the key. The pirate said something to the effect of, Bog's a real piece of work. He's got a serious attitude problem lately. Right. And then the activity popped up, speak to Bog. Okay? So you're all caught up. That's what you missed. I feel bad. It's tough to, like, you know, find a balance between just recording everything all the time and, you know, like, I have to feel comfortable to sometimes do a few things off camera because I spend, like, I know I've, by the way, this is episode 60, so we're at least at 120 hours of gameplay. Probably a lot more than that because I let a lot of these episodes run longer than 2 hours, which is amazing. Like, I consider a game like a worthwhile purchase for me if it entertains me for over 100 hours. If it entertains me for over 100 hours, that means I'm spending 60 cents per hour of entertainment that I'm getting from the game. And that is, to me, really good deal, a really good value. But being over 120 at this point, I feel like I'm nowhere near the end of this game either. I'm still having so much fun with it. Um, and that's just the time spent in the game that I've recorded. I've been working on my outpost. I've been working on, I work on decorating my house. I work on inventory management and stuff between videos. And the outpost stuff, especially, I will sit down for like 6 hours, and the time will just fly by. And I'll accomplish very little at working on my outpost in that like 6 hour span. So trust me when I say you don't want that included in the videos. It's very, very, very boring. It involves a lot of trial and error, trying to figure out where things will fit and what will work and what won't work. I guess I'm done with my preamble now. Let's get into at least if you're interested in story and stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of story this episode, but also a lot of probably quite boring searching through the key. So you can skip ahead if you want. I'm gonna specifically not return to Galbank and that quest until next episode. We may do the thing with Bog this episode, talking to Bog and see what's going on with that. But if you're not interested in that and not interested in watching me explore the key, you can just skip to the next episode, and we'll be picking up in the next episode back where we left off with the infiltrating the Galbank archives. Bog's rules for the Nova. Rule number 1, don't piss me off. Rule number 2, everyone drinks. Sober, get out. Oh, I've already broken rule number 2. I've been in there several times without partaking. 3, drink at your own risk. 4, no killing unless they deserve it. 5, you got a grudge? Spit it out. I'm a bartender. I don't read minds. Number 6, no pissing on the walls. It's a good rule for hygiene reasons. Although urine is sterile. I'm way overthinking that. Rule number 7, no hogging the ping pong table. Rule number 8, I pick the music. Yeah, I've heard there's usually some metal playing in the Nova. I haven't figured out where it's coming from yet. I wanted to get like closer to it so I could hear what the sound designers came up with for it, but it seems to be coming just kind of from everywhere in there. Anyway. Message from Shinya Voss. Credits are the lifeblood of the fleet. Our entire operation would not exist if not for their blood, sweat, and bullets. Excuse me. If not for the blood, sweat, and bullets of the pirates doing the work, and the consolidation of their earnings here at the Key. So let me make myself clear. While we have facilities outside the Key, I expect any funds outside of standard operational costs to be brought back to the Reckoner's core. So Shinya Voss is the guy with the bomb in his chest that's in charge of all the finances for the Crimson Fleet. We've had incidents where fleet members have taken over operations on various planets throughout the settled systems and skimmed a little too much off the top. And he's fine with you skimming a little. But don't cross the line and skim too much. Suffice to say, they paid a steep price for their lack of transparency. Make sure you don't do the same. Shinya Voss, Fleet Reckoner. Repair your damn ship. It doesn't matter if you think your bird is clean. When you dock, check with Jazz and her team to do a full repair, and scan your ship for any dings or bugs. Security on this station isn't just about the swarm of patrols we got out there, or the 3 large batteries orbiting the Key. Yeah. Those batteries took me out with the quickness whenever I tried to come here before I joined the Crimson Fleet. They are well defended here. It's the little things, the details. We got to make sure we mind them. Neva. Weight room etiquette. As the doctor on the ship... Oh, this is from Samina. I just want to remind everyone of weight room etiquette. Wipe down your equipment. Bacteria grows in damp, warm areas. Wipe everything your skin touches. That includes the barbells and plates. 2. Spotting. Let's try to avoid back injuries. If someone requests that you spot them, do it. And don't forget to ask how you want to be spotted. Some people like a little help lifting off. 3. Rotating in. If there's no free benches, it's always good to let others rotate in between your sets. Find someone your size so you don't have to change things up. Just remember to follow rule number 1. Samina. And then we've got the message board. Oh my. Oh my. So I'm seeing like a lot of I'm seeing a lot of this stuff looks kind of out of order. Actually, no, it doesn't. I see what the order is. It goes down. It starts here and goes down, and then it resumes back up here and goes down. Okay. Siren of the Stars. Word is Rokov's trying to get back in with the fleet. If you ask me, we should do the old bait and switch. Get him to invite the lot of us on board and blend us in with the crew. Then when I give the signal, we rob that boat full of rich bastards blind. Not a bad idea. It's certainly a lot of rich bastards on that ship, and it would be nice to have a Trident cruise ship as part of the Crimson Fleet, right? This is a reply to that message. Blend in, we'd stick out like a cactus in a snowstorm. Whatever it is, let Delgado and the new Rook handle it. They can smell the rest of us pores coming from a mile away. True. Shinya's bomb. Does anyone else think the bomb in Shinya's chest is a bad idea? How do we know he ain't gonna blow up the whole station on a whim? True. That's not how it works. It'll just blow up his insides. A mouth breather like you might get chunks of meat in your throat, though, and choke to death. I don't know what the rest of you think, but I'm gonna call that a net positive. Kill for some chicken chunks. I'd kill for some chicken chunks right now. I would literally grab someone's throat and choke the life out of him if it meant chunks were my next meal. I would throw his lifeless body on the deck of a SysDef ship and tell the captain I murdered this man if they had chunks in their brig. I would have them toss me in some maximum security prison with no hope of parole if they had chunks in their cafeteria. I would let them put me on death row and end my life if they guaranteed chunks would be my last meal. I'd kill my own damn self for a bucket of chunks. Oh, I love this. I'm so glad I found this terminal and everything. This is really fun. I think there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to find on board the Key. Just this corner of it alone leads me to believe I missed a lot. Torture doesn't work, question mark? If I'm trying to get intel from someone, is it true torture doesn't work? I've heard you put a person under duress, they'll say just about anything. It's true. It is true. Studies have borne out that torture does not work. Not that the U.S. will ever end its torture program. Who cares? Torture may not work, but it sure as hell is fun. I'm pretty sure that's the official stance of the U.S. government on torture. Okay. Awesome. So that's this public access computer, so I assume if we find more public access...
I wouldn't get on her bad side.
Yeah. I'm sure if we find more public access terminals around here, it'll have the same messages on it, so... We'll take that box off. So I'm going to be going around with... Oh, shit, I almost forgot the main cause of excitement here. Let's listen to this.
So tell us about Jasper Criggs' version of the Crimson Scar.
All I can tell you is that under my guidance, the Crimson Scar became more influential than every other syndicate combined. Here I was, 22 years old, and I had power, people that followed my orders, and an endless stream of credits.
Wow, 22 years old.
I have to tell you, I was having the time of my life.
So you'd consider extortion, robbery, burglary, kidnapping, assault, and murder to be positive life influences?
No. I'd consider them as just means to an end. Those so-called crimes were merely stepping stones until I had enough wealth to buy the Crimson Scar a few spacecraft.
Yes, let's talk about that. It appears you weren't satisfied with terrorizing New Atlantis alone.
Oh, I've never stopped reaching, Gale. The amount of money we were making in New Atlantis was decent, but the really big scores were in space, on the cargo ships. We're talking millions of credits, maybe more. Who the hell could count it all?
Most people assume this is when the UC decided to actively set up a task force to pursue the Crimson Scar.
That's correct. Those idiots in charge of the United Colonies were clearly embarrassed that they had allowed the Crimson Scar to make the jump into space. They sent ships after us. Lots of ships. I almost think that they enjoy starting wars.
Perhaps this was the first time you had finally reached too far.
You could say that. I count my time running the Crimson Scar as a learning experience. I wouldn't say I reached too far. I'd say I reached too fast. Didn't cover all my bases. Made some stupid mistakes. One thing's for certain, though. When I was finally arrested and thrown into the lock, I had plenty to think about.
Okay, I love this. Every single one of these tapes, I mean, I've only found 2 so far, but I love these. I love this interview. It is so interesting. It's the most interesting world building, as far as I'm concerned, I've found in the entire game so far. So the Crimson Fleet started out as the Crimson Scar, a criminal syndicate in New Atlantis. Until they, they realized the big money was to be had in space, and they, bought a few ships and started their transition towards becoming the Crimson Fleet. Wow. And by the way, huge props. Whoever is the voice actor who did Jasper Cricks, you are fucking killing it. It's so good. I am really compelled. I really feel some kind of way about these interview tapes. So we are gonna search the key top to bottom with a fine-tooth comb. I want more of these. I want more pieces of this interview badly. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna see. I turned this on and I immediately realized I was forgetting that thing. We're gonna walk around with our scanner on, ignoring the path, but we are gonna search the shite out of this place. Every inch. Everything that highlights is an interactable. We're gonna take a minute to make sure it's not a piece of that interview. Alright, this is the Trade Authority.
Looking to make a deal?
Nope, just looking to see if there's an interesting, antique interview tape in here somewhere. I don't know why there would be, but I no longer, I'm now,
The fleet protects our own. But you turn against us, and you're dead.
I hope you came with credits.
I'm not yet confident that all pieces of this recording are here on the key, but if I find one more here, I'm gonna assume they're all here and not stop looking until I find them all. So, let the tediousness begin. Sorry, not sorry. I want more. I love that story. Yeah, we'll go and we're definitely going to do a really thorough search of the bar. But I'm going to start in this area where the merchants are, because that's where I found number 3. Hi, Doc. I'm just gonna look in every box, on everywhere I can look. If there's anything to be found in here.
To start something? Because I'll finish it.
Got some
I got
health
no beef
issues
with
you need
you.
help with?
Been hearing some
No, I'm
stuff
good.
about the Mantis being back. If I ever find that bastard, the things I do to them.
Ooh! Oh, gee, I got so excited. That's just one of the things in the floor. I'm gonna have so many false alarms because of the floor things looking like that. Oh, man. Alright, well, I think there's nothing in here. Should occasionally look up also.
Captains handle most of the patrols. We've earned that trust.
Yeah, I hope they promote me to captain soon. I feel like especially after this heist I'm doing right now, if that's not enough to get me a promotion, I don't know what will be. Wait, does this not count as stealing? I'll take that then. Find myself needing those more and more for my outpost. Alright, so we got a pool table here. Ooh, crit sticks. Don't mind if I do. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, I should really search all places with this, with the highlighter on, because
Need to have
it's
a
really
Ludra
easy
take
to
a
miss
look
stuff.
at this kinetic.
It all blends in
Recoils off.
with the background very easily. Ooh! Oh, yes! Oh, number 2, baby! Oh, I've got to assume number 6 is the last one. At least I hope so. Finding number 2 and number 3 means we're halfway there. Still need to find number 1. Oh, no, we're not halfway there. But I still need to find... yeah, we are. We're halfway there. I need 1, 4, and 5 are the other half of them. All right, let's get to
stellar
it.
rise to infamy begin?
In the streets of New Atlantis. No parents, no godparents. Just a homeless punk kid robbing whoever he could for the credits.
Yeah, we're listening to these out of order, but
Were these violent
if we
crimes?
can find them all, I'll
Murders?
listen to them all
I'm
in
a
sequence.
bit offended you even asked that question, Gail. Sure, a few people here and there walked away with injuries, but I'm not some kind of butcher.
That doesn't sound as heartless as your reputation would imply.
Well, like I said, I was just a kid.
Were you ever caught by the authorities in New Atlantis?
Oh, dozens of times. I'd just give them a fake name, or they just slap me on the wrist and send me on my way. They obviously didn't think that I'd amount to anything and didn't want to waste their time with rehabilitation.
What changed that? Was it the robbery in 2218?
2218. Oh, yeah. The Galbank archives. Very good, Gail. I see you've done your research. That
Ooh,
would be
so
when I rounded
Jasper
up a few of
Crick's
my
broke into
buddies
the
and we
Galbank
knocked the
archives at
place
some point.
over. Made off with a ton of credits. My first.
See, I thought the whole
big
thing was there's no
score.
credits to be had in the Galbank archives,
Is that why the
but I guess
Crimson
that's not
Scar
true.
decided to bring you into their ranks?
That's right.
Oh, he did that on his
Brought me
own
in,
before even
taught me
joining the
ropes,
Crimson
and I
Scar.
did crimes for
And he
them
wasn't the one who
for,
founded the Crimson Scar.
5 years. Till I decided I wanted more. I got rid of their leader, put myself in his place, and started running the show. I've been the one in charge ever since.
Was it absolutely necessary to cut his throat and leave the body on a public street in the well?
On the street, reputation is everything. I wanted everyone in the city to know that Jasper Cricks was taking over. I think they got the message.
That's so interesting. So even though Jasper Cricks is credited with being the founder of the Crimson Fleet, and in
Gotta make
many
sure
ways
you
he
train
is.
every day. Bad aim and
He certainly
bad
was
health
the
will
one
get you
who,
killed.
you know, turned a street gang into the pirate fleet it is today.
The fleet doesn't care how big your bounty is. If you don't earn your
They were
wages to
originally
Congress.
just a crime
call
syndicate
UC
in
system
New Atlantis,
sharks,
and
but to the fleet, they're just bait.
God, so many people talking. They were originally a crime syndicate in New Atlantis, and he was not the one who created that crime syndicate. He, violently took it over soon after joining. He had more vision than the existing leadership. Look at this, like, deflated soccer ball in a walker. Oh, I can't believe how much this search has already paid off. I'm so excited. And also feel like such a fool for, like, at least in my head canon, assuming I had successfully searched the entirety of the key. No longer considering any place well searched until I go over it with my scanner out, because that's what's helping me spot these things that I clearly overlooked before. Those two board games are very popular. I like how nothing here is stealing. It's just like, we're pirates, so, Can I sleep here? Taking a quick nap so that hopefully, God, those things keep fooling me. Maybe some of these pirates will go to bed
Need a drink? Bog at the last Nova will
so they
be
can
more
stop
than
talking
happy
to me
take
while
your
I'm trying to
credits.
walk around and look.
UC'll never crush the fleet.
Getting in
They'd
my
have
way.
to catch us first.
Yeah. Yeah, UC. They're a bunch of fools. Definitely not smart enough to run an undercover op, that's for sure. No need to worry about that. I know I make that joke at least once per video. But it's fun. It's funny. It cracks me up every time. The pirates are like, haha, UC's. Ooh! Oh. Well, well. I just went through a roller coaster of emotions there. I was like, yes! Yes, it's a tape. Oh, it's not part of the interview. Ooh, it's evidence. It's part of the evidence thing. Mira's demise.
So
Evidence.
wait, say that again. You think I'm who?
Radley
Stop
Giselle. I don't
playing
know if I've
games.
met that person
We
yet.
both know
Oh,
your
well,
real
there's
name
Mira.
is Leonel Soto, and you know why I'm here.
Who are you? Fleet? Ecliptic? An independent?
I spent 2 long years and every credit I had looking for you, just so I could look you in the eye before I pulled the trigger.
Hey, what's
What
with
is
the gun?
this?
There must be some mistake. I honestly don't know who you are.
Of course you don't know who I am. You're never concerned with the death you leave in your wake, in your pursuit of greed. You killed my husband, you son of a bitch! And now I'm going to kill you!
Such a terrible shame. All that time and money she wasted. Well. Better get rid of the body.
Oh, so he killed Mira. I mean, I knew the name of this piece of evidence was Mira's demise, but it sounded like she had the upper hand until that last line.
So wait.
I'm gonna play that again.
Say that again. You think I'm who?
Stop playing games. We both know your real name is
Leonel
Soto.
Soto.
And you know why I'm here.
Who are you? Fleet?
Now
Ecliptic?
going by
An
Radley
independent?
Jasso.
I spent 2 long years and every credit I had looking for you. just
Mira was
so I
after
could
some
look
revenge,
you in
and
the
she
eye before I pulled the
unfortunately
trigger.
perished
What's with the gun?
seeking it out.
There must be some
I assume
mistake. I
Jasso is
honestly
like
don't
Crimson
know who
Fleet,
you are.
and that's
Of course you
why.
don't know who I am.
that
You're
evidence is
never
here.
concerned with the death you leave in your wake.
Wow,
in your
for
pursuit
finding
of
so many
greed.
important
You
things.
killed my husband, you
with
son
this
of a
search,
bitch!
I am-
And now I'm going to kill you!
When I started this out, I thought I may
Hearing some
regret.
stuff about the
Such a
Mantis being
terrible
back.
shame. All
If I
that
ever
time
find
and
that
money she
bastard,
wasted.
the things
Now,
I
regret
do
doing
then.
this, but
Better get rid of the body.
oh, oh! I'm gonna... There's a part 7? Oh my god. So, I don't know how many parts there are. I'm gonna be optimistic and assume I've found over half of them now. And that 7's the grand total. Maybe we'll hear the end of the interview on this tape, and that'll put my mind at ease. Oh, number 6 was so interesting, though. It felt like the end. What could he have said beyond that? Oh my god, I can't
Let
wait.
me just ask you one final question before we wrap up.
Oh, this is definitely the end.
Go ahead.
When is enough going to be enough? How many credits does Jasper Criggs need until he's satisfied?
I should have expected you to ask such a stupid question. How the hell could you ever understand? You with your fancy education and your sheltered upbringing and your cushy media job? Me, I came from nothing. Everything I own, I've literally drawn blood to gain.
There's no need to get personal. I'm simply trying to state the facts so that our listeners can make judgments of their own.
Lady, I got news for you. Half of your listeners think I'm a hero. The other half are scared out of their goddamn minds, and they should be.
Perhaps we should talk about something else.
No, that's it. We're done. Can you guys get her the hell out of here? Make sure she takes all this sound equipment with her.
Well, that's it then. Thank you for your...
Actually, before you go, Gail, there's one more thing I would like to say.
Yes, of course. What is it?
When you broadcast this interview on SSNN, I want you to remember that I'll be listening. If you edit even one word or manipulate my voice to change anything I've said, I will hunt you down and kill you in front of everyone. Do you understand?
I understand. You have my word.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I imagine in the future here that they could easily, you know, deepfake his voice or whatever to make him say some crazy shit. Oh my lord, I can't believe all the stuff I'm finding. I'm really, like, angry at past me for writing this place off and assuming that the interview wasn't here. Like, I'm now fully on board with the idea. I think I'm gonna find all the pieces of the interview here.
In the fleet, you either put up, shut up,
Alright,
or
so there's
die.
upstairs, but I want to finish, I want to finish downstairs first to my satisfaction, which I have not yet. I definitely finished this hallway. Did I go back here yet? I may be repeating some areas now. Not intending to, I just like... Never has it been more important to me to be thorough. And not overlook anything. So this is the like area off the core where with the bunks. I did search the firing range. That's part of the gym area.
If you're
I
doing
know
any
upstairs
lifting later, I can spot you.
is where the captain's cabins are. So we'll definitely be. Is this another one? No, it's a notepad. We'll definitely be going up there. Potentially we're going up there next. I know that's the bar. Like, I think we're almost done with this area.
You check out the Reckoner's core. She's a beaut, ain't she?
Yeah, cool stuff. Let me go in here. I don't think I searched this way yet, maybe? I don't freaking know. Well, here's a... Oh, toilet paper tube. I thought that was a digipick. This is the way back towards the shops. I'm not 100% positive I searched this whole area. Yeah, let me give it a once over. Especially this, like, areas where there's a bunch of junk like this. These things seem to be just spread all over the place.
I've got what you need. For the price.
Excuse me. Don't worry, lady.
As
I'm
long
not going
as
to
you
steal
put the
anything
fleet
from you. I
first,
just...
we won't have any problems.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, make it quick. I've got schematics to organize.
Oh, okay. I'm back in Isla. Okay, that gives me a sort of an idea of where I have been and where I haven't been yet. There's another way up.
No price is too high when it comes to protection, right?
True. Very true. Man, I can't believe that was number 7. How rude. Alright, this is feeling like I'm going over old ground now. So this leads back to the core. The Reckoner's core. I know I checked down there. I checked the clinic. So I think I've done that pretty thoroughly. Let's do this direction. I know I haven't gone this way yet. Or at least not all the way this way. This is the way back to the docking bay. I think I'll go back, check the docking bay real quick, because I seem to recall the docking bay being a pretty small area. I thought I'd found another one for a second there. Those notepads are good at fooling me too.
I'll pay you 20 credits if you can do the thing with the knife.
You're out of your damn mind. Last rook that tried that lost 2 fingers.
On my
Guy
tail,
before her,
and my grandfather
bled out and
just
dropped
jokes.
dead.
And you know what
Oh yeah, Jasmine's area. We definitely need to search this area over here.
One nearly got me dusted.
I'm definitely feeling like I haven't searched this thoroughly. Goodness, all the freaking pirates talking. I know it's fun, like, atmosphere, but after a certain amount of repeated dialogue, it's like, ugh, just shut up. Can it, will ya? Another free magnet, don't mind if I do. Doing a digipick. I'm being really careful not to steal, because the last thing I would want is to, actually, let's do a save. The fact I just thought about one of those being like a steal thing gave me a little bit of an anxiety attack about, like, if I accidentally, like, anger the key
Yeah?
while I'm doing this and I have to research everything, that would be tragic.
You've got stuff to smuggle. I've got the stuff to hide it.
I'm pretty sure I've already got about 30 brown leather jumpsuits, so... Circuit boards... Hi Jazz, you're the best. Have I looked through your personal computer before? Oh yeah, I specifically remember looking through that before.
Think so?
So I have Ben back here. Like, what? Oh my god.
Last time I complained to Dave, I ended up with a broken arm.
Alright, so it's not another piece of the interview, but... I know I read the messages on her computer, but I didn't... These ones that are in the, like, holder thingies... They're rough. They're rough to spot. If I wasn't in scanny mode, I would have never noticed this. Request A17, another piece of evidence.
If you want to
I mean,
stay
that
under
was
the
what I
radar,
was originally
I've got
searching.
just the thing.
Searching the key for was not like I was originally searching the key for evidence because I assumed it would be here, and I thought I did a pretty thorough search. It was during that search for evidence that I found interview tape number 6. But I did a bad job searching. I'm willing to admit my own mistakes. I did bad. We're doing much better this time. Let's see what this is.
I'm including this month's list of parts I need for the key. Don't bust a gut. It's hefty, but I know you can handle it. I'm gonna need a lot more than usual this time. I'm planning to overhaul the entire electrical system before it completely shorts out. Oh yeah, thanks for sending over the key's reactor specs. I can't tell you exactly why I needed those. Dell said to keep it hush-hush. As far as next month's shipment, start scrounging up some parts so I can spruce up our defensive batteries. They're looking kind of rusty. Well, I guess that's it for now. I'll have my people in New Atlantis drop off the payment at the spaceport. Just make sure you aren't being followed. We wouldn't want the UC to know they're providing replacement parts to the Crimson Fleet.
Ooh. So it doesn't say who, like, she just refers to the person by a nickname, Champ. Someone in New Atlantis working for the UC is supplying Jazz with parts to upkeep the station, and apparently previous to this message supplied her with the specs, like the blueprints or specifications or whatever for the reactor that's powering the key. So someone with access to like top secret stuff, because obviously the key was originally a United Colonies space station, is providing her with like schematics and stuff and parts from the UC. That's so funny. That's so interesting. I really like Jazz. I almost feel bad. Like, I'm starting to bond with some of the pirates and folks here on the Key. And some of them are like assholes with a blatant disregard for human life and suffering. But like, some of the people up here, like Jazz, are just living their best life, you know? Living their best pirate life. Wow, okay. Back to the search we go. I feel kind of like bad that at the beginning of this video I told people to just skip this one if they didn't want to watch boring stuff, because there's been a lot of development happening in this video.
AC or DC?
Neither are safe. Depends on how you want to die.
I'm low-key thinking I might edit that piece of the commentary out. Because I think it's valuable for people who want to know what I've found and stuff to be watching this. Like, it's like, I thought it would be like me searching around and not finding anything for giant stretches of time.
Unless you want to get killed all the
But so far, I've been like finding something significant every few minutes.
Cause I'll finish it.
God, these freaking pirates need to shut up. Alright, so all that's left, I think, is the second floor.
Smuggling beats a real job any day.
So I'm going to go ahead and check out the docking area, which I remember being pretty small. Just so I can tick that off my list. Because I'm still looking for tape number 1. And if I was a game developer and I was hiding these tapes all throughout the station, I remember really thoroughly searching this docking area. Oh my god, is that it sitting on the bench next to this frickin' pirate right there? I need to learn to shut up. I'm like, oh, I remember really thoroughly searching this area, so I don't expect to find anything out here. Sitting right the frick there.
Nothing worse than a pirate ship with no personality.
With this being here, like, I really do remember, like, fine-tooth combing this docking area. I'm starting to suspect that maybe these weren't here before. Because it's entirely possible that, oh, I didn't even...
energy weapons, nothing.
I didn't even mention this yet, but I also found a piece of evidence at Wolf. You remember at the end of the last video, I had some contraband, and I was going to see if selling it in New Atlantis or whatever, that I was able to smuggle it in, if it sold for more than it did at Wolf. So I sold some in New Atlantis, and then I took my ship to Wolf to just unload the one remaining. By the way, for anyone who's wondering, no, you get the same amount no matter where you sell it. So I'm still not sure entirely what the point is in being able to smuggle it, other than just saving yourself some time. Saving yourself a little bit of time, not having to always unload it all right away to continue playing. But on the, you know where the reporter is in Wolf? On the table right next to the reporter. Well, not the one he sits at sometimes, but the one, like, next to that one. There was an evidence tape. Let me see if I unloaded all my notes, by the way, in my house. I mean, I know I've still got 47. Obviously, there's a lot, but All I've got left is the Crimson Fleet profiles, which are part of the quest I'm working on right now. And the magazines, because I'm just not sure if the bonuses I get from these magazines will apply if I don't have them in my inventory. So let me just look through. Was it this one? Crete offer? I think so. Yeah. So I found this Crete offer slate at Wolf. I think this is the one. I'm still going to go through and check, see if it was maybe a different one. But I found this Crete evidence slate at Wolf, and I almost completely forgot, so sorry about that. I didn't feel like it was important to put that in the video. I figured I could just sum it up at the beginning of the next video, and then all this crazy shit happened that distracted me. But yeah, I went to Wolf, sold the contraband, and saw this just sitting on a table, and there's no way that it's just been sitting there the whole time. It for sure didn't spawn there until I got the mission from UC Sysdef to find evidence. So I do know that sometimes audio logs and stuff like that can spawn in places you've already explored, which makes me want to go to every sketchy place in the universe and see if I can find more evidence of criminal activity. Definitely on my list of places to search is the Red Mile, because that's a super sketchy place, and I would not be shocked at all if we found an evidence tape there, now that they've clearly spawned in certain places. I think it'd be good to give the well in New Atlantis another once-over, see if there's any evidence there. Anyway. Alright, this is from Neva, by the way. It's a job offer. It says Crete offer evidence. And this is interesting because, as you recall, it was on Crete. I think it was Crete. Was like the moon where when I first got the Frontier in Vasco and we left Vectera. We got attacked by pirates, and Vasco was like, you're going to need to deal with the local pirate leader, so they'll leave us alone so that we can safely make our way to New Atlantis. And I believe it was Crete was the moon that we went on. We went to that abandoned facility there and took out the pirate leader. Well, we didn't take him out. We talked him into leaving us alone to, convince them the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. So I think this is like a throwback to that. Alright, this one's up for grabs. Got plenty of supplies left at the UC outpost on Crete. Right, yeah, it was a UC research outpost for Xeno warfare, behind enemy lines, so to speak, because it was in Freestar space, as I recall. The last raiding party we sent was interrupted by spacers, or maybe even competition from some independents. First ship that brings back a hold full of junk from that place gets 20% cut. Anyone that rats this out or tries to strip the place on their own is going to get keel-hauled outside of the key. I'm pretty sure the name of the pistol I got from Delgado was the keel hauler. They like that word, apparently. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one I found in Wolf. Let me just do a quick... No, that's the one I just found in Red. Yeah.
A substitute for a shotgun blast to the face.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactalk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for every major law enforcement agency in the galaxy. I am, of course, speaking of the self-appointed leader of the Crimson Fleet himself, Jasper Crix. Good evening, Mr. Crix.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Oh, he invited her there to
Yes,
interview.
well,
I
being
guess we already kind of
blindfolded
knew
and then
that.
Grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I'd call an
Oh, so this
invitation.
wasn't an interview done in
Well,
prison. It was actually
I'm
while
sure
he was still
you're
free.
not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do they take a leap and become one of the most legendary pirates in history?
I'm going to restart it because I guess I was confused. At the beginning, it sounded like Jasper Cricks requested the interview, but now it sounds like he was maybe responding to a request from this reporter, Gail Dunnigan. Gail Dunnigan.
Because there comes a time in every pirate's...
Oh, no, I can't restart it? Are you kidding me? That's annoying. Maybe if I start playing another one.
Where did your stellar rise to infamy begin?
In the streets of New Italy.
Hello,
Alright, now
everyone.
we'll restart.
I'm Gail Dunnigan of
perfect.
SSNN, and this is Galactic Talk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled systems. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted list for
She had some sort
every
of talk show,
major
Galactic
law
Talk,
enforcement agency in the galaxy.
and requested him
I
for
am,
an
of
interview.
course, speaking of the self-appointed leader of the Crimson Fleet himself, Jasper Cricks. Good evening, Mr. Cricks.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then Grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I'd call an invitation.
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do they take a leap and become one of the most legendary pirates in history? Or do they simply sputter on, subsisting on freighters and deep space privateers?
So are we to assume that you're taking the leap? That Jasper Cricks is moving on to bigger and better things in his life?
That's spot on, Gail. That's exactly why you're here.
Interesting. Well then, would you mind sharing with us exactly what your particular leap entails?
In due time. There's no rush. In fact, I'd say we have at least 12 hours before the authorities trace this broadcast. Plenty of time to discuss whatever you like.
Oh, all right then. Perhaps the best place to start this interview would be at the beginning of your career.
Please, proceed.
Sorry, the stupid annoying pirate's trying to talk over it while I'm listening. So she extended a request for an interview, and then he invited her to this to a place where he would be willing to give the interview, but she had to be blindfolded and taken there, and Grav jumped there, so there was no way she could know where she had been taken. But it sounds like it was originally broadcast live, and he was thinking that they had about 12 hours before the authorities traced the source of the broadcast. Just resisting the urge to shoot dead every pirate here that interrupts me listening to the Jasper Cricks interview. So since I found part 1 out here in the airlock, sorry, the ship docking section of the key. God, those pirates are so annoying. Since I found part 1 out here in the ship docking section of the key, I think it's unlikely I'm going to find any more parts of the interview out here.
Got mixed feelings about my last job. On the one hand,
Lost a friend.
Unlikely, but not impossible. So I am going to just be thorough. But we've already found part 2. So I know part 2 is not out here.
Pleasant to see you.
And so far in the game, when there's
What
been
kind of name is Sys-Def anyway?
Oh my god. So far in the game, when there's been a multi-part audio log, the developers have done a good job of putting, you know, part 1
I heard Isla's sister
as the
is
first
some
one you find,
hardcore
and so on.
I wouldn't get on her bad side.
Temptation to murder all the pirates on the quay rising. Yeah, I remember this section of the key being really small and compact. I swear I did a thorough search of this place before. I'm actually so shocked that I found one of them out here. I thought for sure that I would just clean up this place real quick and there wouldn't be anything to be found, but
If I ever find that bastard.
we found part 1. So interestingly, we found part 1 here. We found parts 2 and 3 and 7. Finding part 7's kind of thrown me off. But we found parts 2 and 3 like through this door in the merchant type area. I want to say that means we're going to find parts 4 and 5. Maybe part 4 upstairs where the captain's quarters are. And part 5 in the bar.
If you need credits, hit up the mission.
And then we found part 6, of course, in Jasper's cabin.
Rook?
I'm trying to think what the best thorough way to search the upstairs is. Maybe just jumping up there right here. Can you imagine if it was just sitting on a shelf here? I'm starting to think that maybe it wasn't until we went down to the walk and started this quest looking for Jasper Crix's legacy that the other parts of it spawned in here at the
When the sky
key.
starts raining credits. Until then, maybe you could just shut up and stop complaining.
Oh, that conversation sounded like it might be a quest that was about to pop up, so I shut my mouth and listened, but so this just leads back to the merchant area here. Wait, did I end up going downstairs without thinking about it? Yeah, I did. I intended to search upstairs here.
A lot of us in the fleet came out of the mud. We grind for every cred, and it shows.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, I clearly missed some things. Like the evidence and stuff. Which I'm sure was not... Like, didn't just barely spawn in or anything. Like, that stuff must have been here, and I was just dumb and overlooked it.
I'm only stationed on the key until the heat dies down. Then it's
Trying to be
back
organized here.
raining and
So that's
pillaging.
kind of up more. So let me check in here first. This is just the supply closet, right? Or more balcony here. And right, and a staircase back down. Okay. We're being thorough. We're being thorough today. More thorough than we've ever been before. Parts 4 and 5 are presumably all that's left to find. Alright, so this just went into the command center area, which I do want to look through. But yeah, the ops center. But I was trying to actually find an area that maybe this doesn't actually lead to. Let me hop down and find the elevators, because I know that'll take me up where I'm trying to go.
I like my weapons like I like my coffee.
Wait, here? I'm just totally lost. Sorry. Running around like a chicken with my head cut off right now. Here are the elevators. Yeah, let's go check the captain's cabins next. Okay. So I'm just going to do a circle around, hugging the right wall, starting at the elevators. And when I get back to the elevators, I'll know I did a thorough search of this place. Because with the distribution of them so far, I feel like chances are pretty high we're going to find one up here in the captain's cabins. Oh, right. Yeah, that door was what originally led me to believe that I was probably at some point going to be elevated to the rank of captain and given my own cabin on board the key. I like having access to the key. Like, I feel some kind of way about betraying the Crimson Fleet at the end of this quest. Like, being with UC Sistef allowed me to avoid killing that guy in one of the early pirate missions. But everything else beyond that point, the pirates haven't, like, asked me to kill anyone else, or, like, I think that was the big test, was, like, killing someone, so that, you know, to make it clear that I'm in for a penny, in for a pound type of deal. I feel like that phrase doesn't really work there, but I think you get what I mean. You know, to commit. Am I lost? What's happening here? Hold on. I'm gonna go back to the elevator so I can keep track of. So I searched that. I searched that. Right? Yeah. I didn't search that because it's not open, so I can't. I wonder if one of them's in there. That'll drive me crazy because I'm going to keep looking until I find them all, and maybe it's not even possible to find them all at this point. Alright, and did I... Yeah, search that. So let's go down here. I think there's more captain's quarters down here. Ooh, this room feels promising. Huh. Found some Aurora earlier too. Finding some contraband in this more thorough look about. Nothing in that room after all, but... Alright. I'm going to try to stick to my plan of hugging the right wall and then circling back. Alright, this is a staircase going down. I'm going to check down the staircase. Because I couldn't find this staircase before when I was looking for it. That's not a thing, right? That's just one of the bolts in the floor. It keeps fooling me. Oh, there's a stuffy back there, but that's not what we're after.
In the fleet, you either put up, shut up, or die. Your choice.
He doesn't have the usual pirate uniform on. He kind of caught me off guard there. Or where am I right now? Oh, this is the, like... the newbie bunks that I've already searched. Okay.
What you thinking?
Yeah, I remember killing that heat leech too.
I don't know. Probably take my cut.
With the
hop on
butt of
to
my
the
gun.
transport,
What's
and
this?
get as far away from nosy
Unopened
scumbags
door.
like you as I
Well, I mean, I guess now's the time. Ew. Ooh. Definitely a room I've never been in. Must be why the door was shut. I usually leave them open to help future me if I'm doing a search. Know I've been somewhere. It's not stealing. Let's unlock it. Not that the Crimson Fleet's too concerned with thievery. Yeah. And that. And then that. And then this. Probably nothing good on this mannequin, but yeah. Just a bunch of crap. Oh well. Come on. My gamer instinct tells me there's got to be one of them in one of these captain's cabins. Or in this area in general. Like, again, shocked I didn't find any of these before, but I'm kind of going with the copium that they spawned in after I went down to the lock, and that's why I didn't find them before. Oh man, that notepad faked me out. Okay. Oh, there's a data slate display here, but no data slate on it. Man, come on, game. That would have been the perfect spot to have one. I wonder if there was a data slate there before that I took. Can't remember. Space is not for the weak. Another soccer ball. I searched that right. Yeah, that was the room I thought was promising before. Damn. No luck in this area. Okay. So now I think it's time to head. Oh wait, I'm not done. Right, because this brings us back to the elevators, but I need to search this side now. That red ping pong paddle is having some problems.
Hey, Shinda, can't you put these bolts on my ship? I'm wasting a ton of fuel coming back here for the transfer.
Not only does that technology not exist, but security would be an issue.
You're a smart guy, though. Can't you just figure out a way to do it?
Yes. Technology just
I can barely hear it, but this this conversation that's happening is very funny. Well, there's Delgado and Nave are just chilling here. I feel like I have a lot to report back to them. I may try talking to them and see if they have any interesting dialogue because of the point in the quest I'm at. They never had me check back in with them after my time aboard the ship I can't remember the name of right now. I'd like to put in a good word for Rokov with Delgado if... Oh! Oh! I swear I really thoroughly searched this bridge too, so... This is blowing my mind right now. So are we still missing part 3? No, we're not. It's parts 4 and 5 that we're missing, right? So if part 4's here, I'm hopeful that part 5 is also here on the bridge, and then I'll feel really, really satisfied.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Volii that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC Security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
Well, it was supposed to be for life, Gail. But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots that eventually led to the worst prison break in United Colonies history?
Yes. I'm quite proud of that, actually. I honestly didn't think it would go as well as it did. As for the reason, well, it's simple. The UC were treating us like animals. The conditions in the lock were ridiculously bad and no one cared. That's why they stuck us on that ice ball in the first place. Out of sight, out of mind.
Your escape caused the deaths of many that were stationed at the lock. Some would brand that as a bit dismissive for what you're describing as a protest. If you were simply advocating for your fellow inmates, why didn't you just go through the proper channels?
And what the hell was I supposed to do? Send a strongly worded letter to my duly appointed representative? Wake up. The UC only responds to actions, not words. In my mind, there was no other choice. You know what? Let's move past my time at the lock so we can get to the point of this goddamned interview.
That was really interesting. I'm going to replay that. There's a few things I want to hear a second time. But importantly, we're getting a little more context for the timeline here. This interview took place. I've been waffling. Like, at first I thought the interview was taking place while he was in the lock. Then I thought the interview was taking place before he went to the lock. But that was a really foolish thing for me to think in hindsight, because obviously he already knew about the legacy at the point in time he was giving this interview, and he learned about the legacy while he was in the lock. So this takes place after he, founded the Crimson Fleet and escaped from the lock and all that, which of course makes sense. Of course that's the case. He said something about like a star station or a space station that they were like robbing it or something, called the Wheel, and like there's competing stories about what caused the Wheel to explode. It apparently exploded, but they mentioned the planet it's around. So I'd love to like follow up on that and go to that planet and see if there's like debris, maybe even interesting things to find in orbit.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest.
And apparently that's where they
spectacular.
finally arrested him.
Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Volii that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
Volii.
You see, that's what they'd have you believe.
Now, this is interesting because Volii is, of course, Freestar Collective space. It's a Freestar Collective system. So for the UC to chase Jasper Cricks all the way to a space station in Freestar Collective space is significant. And it makes me wonder if that space station, I guess they call it a star station in this game, right? It makes me wonder if that star station was maybe a Freestar Collective star station, and the UC needed to blame Crix and the pirates for blowing the place up. It sounds like I'm going to be real with you. I believe Jasper Crix's version of events here, that they were trying to, be tactical and precise on board the wheel, but the United Colonies just came in guns a-blazing and with little disregard for the maybe Freestar Collective space station that they were on, and ended up destroying the place as a result.
That's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in.
Yeah, and they, oh, wow. Show Armin Petrosian. So Armin's, of course, the one in charge of the brig on the UC Vigilance. Like the previous audio log from Jasper Crix specifically talked about the reason for the riot and the bad conditions on board the not on board, but at the lock. So I would have thought, if anything, Armin would be interested in that audio log. Wait, does this one, this one goes on to talk about that? Am I mixing up my logs? Sorry, I guess I'm gonna listen to this for a third time now. Tripping over myself here. This was number 4. Oh, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Just missing 1, I think.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books.
We'll let this play while we search, because I'm really only interested in the end of it.
Our little fleet of ships picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Voli that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe, but the truth is much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there for how long?
Well, it was supposed to be for life, Gail. But I ended up serving 2 years before I decided I'd had enough.
Is there any particular reason that you started the riots that eventually led to the worst prison break in United Colonies
We
history?
may not have official security on the key, but we are always looking out for traitors.
I honestly didn't think it would go as well as it did. As for the reason,
never crushed the fleet.
it's
It
simple.
after you might
The
think
UC were treating us like
loyalty's
animals.
big in the fleet.
Alright, so I was mixing them up.
Bad and no one
he does talk about the reason that he started the riots was the horrible conditions, them being treated like animals, yada yada yada. So it makes perfect sense why I would get the objective to show this to Armin. So I get to talk to him after I visit the lock and find out stuff from there, but I could have maybe talked to him about this even before then. I mean, I don't know if these spawned in or if they've always been here. I shouldn't speculate, but I'm very interested in... unfortunately, of course, we can only go back to the UC Vigilance when they want us back. So we'll have to wait to talk to him about this, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Sorry, you probably can hardly hear me over the interview here, but yeah, we'll go back to Armin next time we get an opportunity to do so.
Always listen to Delgado, unless you want to get your heel all across the key.
Come on, tape number 5. I know you're here somewhere. I know you are. I know you are. Just one bloody tape away from ultimate satisfaction. Just one more game. Is it here, like, behind Delgado and Neva? That makes sense, in a way. No. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to them in a minute, also. Deck of cards, okay. Alright, so it would make sense to me for it to be upstairs also, but I mean, upstairs is also where tape number 6 was. This is again making me think that maybe these spawned in, because I very distinctly remember, like, once I found tape number 6 and I was so enthralled by it, I feel like I did a pretty thorough search of the ops center here looking for more tapes, because this is where I found the first tape. Or, well, the 6th tape, but you know what I mean. The first one I found. And I didn't find any other ones, which is what led me down this path of thinking they weren't here. So if they did spawn in, I could see them putting number... Oh. Well, at least it's evidence, though. I mean, this is significant. I don't mean to sound so disappointed. I'm just so excited to get the full interview. We're so close. Voss parts evidence. Regarding the specifications for my interface, I'm going to need to make a few minor adjustments. Galbank is switching to an orthogonal hexabit encryption, so I want to crank up the core clock on my ARM hardware. You can probably get that equipment from Ryujin. I also need to have a storage injector port added so I can keep any damn trace packets off my system. It probably wouldn't hurt to throw in some electromag protection too. The electrical system on the key is terrible, and a short circuit could fry the whole setup. Last but not least, I might need a few cushions for the chair in the Reckoner's core. They're wearing a bit thin. I guess that's evidence of him, like, his money laundering operation. Delgado's computer? Have I clicked on this before? Let's look. I don't remember this. I'm kind of remembering this now. Let's read it, though. A lead on the legacy. I'm not much for signs and omens. It's mostly just a bunch of bullshit your abuela will tell you after one too many visits to the fortune teller. But it's hard not to see things lining up. Neva brings on this new recruit. We take them down to the... Oh, this is definitely new. We take them down to the lock, and just like that, the picture's clear. The legacy isn't some myth. It's a ship with a history and a goddamn paper trail. And the best part, nobody knows about it but us. Aquila City. Sometimes I dream about Aquila City. The sand-dusted streets, the thick, heavy air, and the call of the wild beyond the wall. Everything is just how I remember it. Yeah, I love Aquila City. Me too, Delgado, me too. I'm back with my old crew doing heists and busting heads for loose change. Milk money, we call... Oh, yeah, unlike Crix, Delgado started out in Aquila City. I forgot about that. Milk money, we called it, and we were the bullies. There's only one thing that's off, really. The days have no light. Every time I look up, the sky's pitch black. At first, I thought it was old age. I've spent so much time on this floating piece of tin, maybe I'd forgotten what the Aquila sky looked like. Oh, so in his dreams of Aquila City, it's always nighttime. Interesting. But that's not it. When I'm awake, I can remember all of it easily enough. No, it's because even as an arrogant little street punk, subconsciously, I know Aquila City isn't home. Up here with the fleet is where I belong. Awesome. Love it. Some nice world building. Character development for our boy Delgado. Come on, game. Please. Please, number 5. Activate intercom. Okay. Didn't do anything, as far as I can tell. Come on, game. Oh, I want it so bad. Down here would make sense. Little lounge area, perfect spot to stick an audio log. Right, game. Please. Okay, no, not down there, but I mean, I'm about to go into his bedroom, which is where I found part 6. I can't imagine part 5 and part 6 would be in here. God knows this is the room I searched more thoroughly than any other room on this whole place. So if it's in here, I'm 1,000% convinced that they spawned in after I went down to the log. Please. Oh, I'm not gonna find it. This is so depressing. It's not here. Sleep in Delgado's bed. Actually, it says own, so I probably actually can't. Oh, come on. Just another bolt on the floor, messing with my head. I mean, I found number 4 downstairs in the op center. I found number 6 upstairs in Delgado's cabin here. But number 5 eludes me. Tragically eludes me. Oh man, we've sort of reached the part where I need to just go over ground I've already covered. Right, so part 4 was in this conference room. Like, I could easily see part 5 being out in the main ops center room. But I feel like I gave it a good search. It's about to get another tertiary search here. There's no way parts 1 through 4 and 6 and 7 are on this space station, and part 5 is just nowhere to be found. Yeah, Bob's Grog. I'll just like here somewhere, like sitting on a counter here. Feel it in my bones. It's here. It's gotta be here.
Is Mina seeing anyone right now? Patience. I got a sore hip.
Soon, everyone is going to learn to fear the fleet.
It would make so much sense for it to be like right here behind Delgado and Neva, but it's not.
Are you looking to start something? Because I'll finish it.
Glad that job's
Yeah,
finally
boy.
over. Always work your ass off. Never stop chasing ops.
Oh my god, all this freaking
Pure luck. I nearly pissed myself.
random
back
dialogue.
Here in Ops, you answer to Delegado directory. That means no screwing around.
Yeah. I'm kind of screwing around right now. He wants me doing something other than this, that's for sure. Oh man. On the very cusp of success.
Every time I see Radley smile, I want to punch him in the face.
It's mean. I mean, it would make sense for it to be here too, like before you reach his bedroom. But I'm starting to lose hope. Because this will be like the 5th time I've searched this room. I'm not feeling confident we're going to find it anymore. Yeah, number 5 might just have to be a bit of a mystery for now. Which is sad. So what I may end up doing is calling off the search for now. And then between this video and the next one, because like we're reaching the point where I'm about to start doing crazy person stuff, like researching this whole space station from the ground up to try and find this thing. And then the next video we can clean up stuff on the key. We'll talk to Delgado and Neva. We'll talk to Bog and see what's going on with Bog. See what that activity is about. And then get back to our Galbank heist. Back into the action, so to speak, next time. Yeah, I'm going to make this a video a bit shorter than usual. I'm going to end it here. It's a nice clean video that was just us searching the key and finding a bunch of interesting stuff here. I'll probably sort of sum things up that we found at the beginning of the next video, in case anyone took my advice and skipped this one. And then we'll get back into story stuff and important dialogue and what have you in the next video. Thank you everyone for watching. As always, I hope you all have a fantastic day.